The thing right there it changes, so but light this but's for you. I thought this was kind of humorous, because I mean that's literally what Bud Light is now. It's Bud Light, so it's a perfect representation of the brand as a whole now, because that's what it is. Its ass. You've also got more smaller brands coming up and saying, hey listen, we're benefiting here. Boston Beer, one of them, they've seen a big growth since the fall of Anheuser-Busch, and you're gonna see more of this. A lot of these brands are benefiting from the fall of Anheuser-Busch because you're looking at the former top dog. Here I mean there was a lot of market share that they held up, and now that's just open for the taking, and it just baffles me that Coors, especially Coors, because Miller's shown themselves to be just as woke as Bud Light. That's why I don't think they're doing anything. They're kind of just like letting this roll in because they're going to resume their little woke marketing as soon as all this dies down, and it will eventually die down. What does Anheuser-Busch look like when it dies down is the real question. What kind of company is left in the wake of all that destruction? It's going to be interesting to see what they look like, but a lot of these smaller brands, they're moving in and they're actually doing the correct kind of marketing and really grabbing up a lot of that market. I talked about this yesterday or the day before with Troy Aikman, who's got his own beer company that he started, and he's out there saying, we're going to give you what you're looking for here. Don't worry, you're not gonna get some but beer. So, I'm just blown away. Coors did put out one advertisement all about legacy and stuff like that. I still think they should do like the old school commercials and just crush beer cans of Bud Light and I like. Even you could even have like the blind taste testers, and of course it wouldn't be real, but you could have them. You could. Rate of decline Bud Light sales have displayed has been a bit steeper in May than in April, but added that it does appear to be plateauing. However, he said, the absolute magnitude could still creep up if those percentage drops are going up against bigger holiday/summer weeks in the year-ago time period. One thing is for sure, the rate of decline has not gotten any better just yet. While not directly comparable, Nielsen IQ data shows that sales revenue was down 9% in the U.S. lager industry in the 52 weeks to April 23 on the previous year-long period, suggesting an overall contraction in beer sales across the market. Despite the general downturn in the industry, competitors to Anheuser-Busch's brands have shown a resilient performance, with Miller Lite recording a 20.7% increase in sales in the 4 weeks to May 20 compared to the same time a year ago, despite facing its own calls for a boycott over a supposedly woke advertising campaign for Women's History Month. Similarly, Coors Light recorded a 22% increase in sales year-on-year in the same period, off the back of a 15.4% increase in sales volumes. This continues a trend of Bud Light's competitors absorbing the demand from boycotters. Another continuing trend is a decline in sales of Anheuser-Busch's other beer labels, which appear to have suffered a knock-on impact from the backlash. In the 4 weeks to April 29, Michelob Ultra saw a 2.8% decline in sales volume, while in the 4 weeks to May 20 this had declined to 7.3%. Similarly, Busch Light sales volume contracted 2.6% in the April period. In May, it was a 10.1% decline. Meanwhile, Natural Light went from a 6.4% drop in sales volumes to a 9.1% decrease, compared to a year ago. Newsweek approached Anheuser-Busch via email for comment on Tuesday. Bud Light stories. I've said it several times, I didn't take it all that seriously. I was like, oh, another conservative boycott, and I got don't do anything. But Bud Light was a perfect storm. It was a major story. Kid Rock kicked off that story real big by firing at Bud Light, and then a bunch of people who like Kid Rock don't want to be seen drinking it, so they don't buy any for their friends. But something else happened. People got clicks, and that was really it. People started to realize that if you want to be famous, if you want to get traffic, you want to make money, you gotta hate Bud Light. Now this is not everybody. This is not me. For the most part it's not you. We are people of principle, but I'll be the first to admit when I first covered the Bud Light stories, I've said it several times, I didn't take it all that seriously. I was like, oh, another conservative boycott, and I got 500,000 views in like a couple hours, and I was like, whoa, people really care about this. All right, let's follow the story. It makes sense. It's not just about the money. I don't even know how much money I make off a single video, because we mostly Timmy has mostly operated on memberships, but I'm like, hey look man, if you guys think this is it, I'll track the story down, but more importantly, you know what I saw? Opportunity. People cared so much about this. There was a real path towards winning a culture war victory, and I think we did. And then some. Bud Light could have apologized right away, their sales would be fine. Think about how much money they're losing because they won't apologize. 30% is no joke. 30, it's massive. But then something happened after we got involved. Regular people were embarrassed to be seen with it, didn't want to, and then other regular people said, you mean